changing the world stories that are putting us and Taraba State on the map. Okay? Thank you. That's my question. Just like I said earlier, why we're three matters? Yeah. Global remote opportunities. So either you are developing yourself to work abroad, or even you're developing your own ideas to do what? To pitch them to founders or venture companies that can actually fund your ideas. So those things, just like what John is doing, he said Stack is part of the sponsor of this program. Okay? So he's working remotely. We did not say he's working remotely, he's working remotely. But now he's creating awareness that there are people here that are hungry for this sort of opportunity. So give it to us, we want it. Okay? And then community driven ecosystem. That's like what we're doing. So what we're trying to tell you is that we have an opportunity here. So why not come on this journey with us? What are you waiting for? What exactly is keeping you from striding out and saying, okay, I want to get into this opportunity. How can I take up this opportunity? How can I be part of this story? Like I said, you don't actually have to be tech savvy. I'm not that tech savvy, but it's just to note out where your skill is, where is the opportunity for myself, and then you start working towards that. Ambitionless innovation. Nobody's holding you back. If you progress, you progress. If I perish, I perish. If we're going to do this thing, I'm doing it. At $93,000 today. Eh? I cannot sell because I've not made it today. I mean, but this, let's say bought at 50 something, probably back then. They still have an opportunity to continue selling because whatever they are selling is what they are still making gain out of it. There's no loss for them. So the earlier you come in, the earlier you pick your space, the earlier you pick your spec and start working towards it, the better for you. Next slide, please. So we're going to be talking about the non-coding roles. If you know you're not a programmer, non-programmer, why am I seeing you are UX people raising your hand? Sorry, I UX people non-programmers. So why are you raising your hand? Okay, sorry. If you have no knowledge of anything to do with programming, and you are UX, raise your hand again. I'm tired of the people. If you have no knowledge of that, raise your hand. Don't be shy. Study that you know yourself. So we have one. I don't like what's happening here. Why technical people raising their hand? Okay, don't worry. I will not use just them. We use Mhm. Now, if you know that you've never had a job, you've never gotten a touch with them, raise your hand. Raise your hand and you're interested. And the devil will take your machine from you. Right. So, few people. So basically, we have a room filled with people that have expertise already, so we're looking to expand. So that shows that people want to learn new things and people want to take opportunity, want to be very opportunistic. That's good. And then as a community manager, you see, these are rules for people like you. Manage community. That means that you need to get the managerial part of you, the leadership part of you. Can you manage people? Can you manage projects? Okay? You manage the community. So all these things now are basically based on other parts of non-technical skill. And then another thing is technical writing. Elizabeth, let's learn coding to get remote jobs. It's dying off. I like the guy that said India, he wants to go to India because of the expertise and the advancement that they have. I'm telling you, Microsoft would rather deploy services to India, Pakistan, China, huh, than to give to Nigeria. It's very hard. How many of you are Upwork? Raise your hand if you have a profile of Upwork. Glassdoor. Okay, how many jobs have you done since this year? Be sincere. How many? None. What if you? How many jobs? Four. Good. Now, probably if you search for one Pakistani guy, you'll be seeing him, you'll be giving 5 stars, and then you see how many jobs he has done 10, 20, 15. And then Nigeria, somebody has to vouch for you. Yes. There's a whole lot of stigmatization that goes around being Nigerian. So that's why you see remote jobs cannot continue to feed everybody. And then another thing you need to understand is what is your experience? Tech is not new in Jalingo per se, because probably since after the COVID-19 that people started jumping on tech in Jalingo or in Taraba State. Okay? Now, would we use that experience to compare to somebody that is in the South that has been in tech since 2010? Is it possible? The experience gap is there. It's quite large. So, what would make you stand out? Everybody will come and tell you. I was speaking with somebody yesterday about how to get job opportunities. And the person was like, you need to make your CV to be like this, change this, tweak this, make your profile look this. Okay, I've done those things 20 times. Like, the guy was just talking and I was like, it's quite a senior member. So I listened because no knowledge is a waste. But my problem with knowledge is that everybody's going to tell you a lot of things. But you are the only person to find out what works and what doesn't work. That's the truth about it. Okay? Now, you bring out the experience, you bring out the opportunity of where you are, and then you start looking for jobs. By the time you spend about 3, 4, 5, 6 months or a year in tech, hmm, it's a very good example. I'm going to use my own experience, and you're not making the money. Hmm? Nobody's seeing value in what you're doing. Your parents will call you one day. I'm from a place where even if you don't want to marry on time, it's not a problem. Because they know it's your problem. Once you marry, it's your responsibility. But down here, marriage is a big thing. Ogami, you've been doing that for the past 6 months. What exactly have you achieved? It's not time to marry. It's not time to come and meet your uncle to go and give you work in one ministry or one place, or come and join us in the business we're doing. You see all these things as a factor, and then you start getting demoralized, and then the story starts becoming, I've been dated, that's it, not the work. You've heard it before, have you? Yeah, I've been dated, but that shit not the work. And you're like, don't be all these guys who can carry laptop when you wear shit. You understand me? And then it starts to sort of be the techie. Okay? But not to dwell on one particular story. The idea that I'm trying to share here is this. When we start building as a community, when we start leveraging on building solutions to problems, we start becoming big ourselves. We start teaching solutions. We start going to those hackathons, not because we want to come and sit down and write and listen. No, but because we want to perceive the next blood in the water like a shark. There are people that come to this event, they're not coming to come and just, okay, come and listen. No, they're here to know, okay, what exactly are these people doing? How are they moving? What opportunities are they not perceiving? They write it down and they leave. And they work on these opportunities. And when they push it out there and start working, and they'll tell you, that guy is the new guy. You just signed $1 million deal for him to improve his company. You say, man, that's wonderful. You will take after 3 months of rejuvenation, because this kind of story will always move you to go and do something better. But these are your opportunities for non-technical people. For those that are on the technical side, you know your opportunities like this. Roadmap. Learn the basics. And what are the basics? What do I need? If I'm on the tech side, what knowledge do I need? If I don't want to be on the tech side, what knowledge do I need? These are the questions that you need to scribble down in case we are having a fire. When we start having a fire side, we can start asking definitive questions. Okay? Join communities. This is one thing I'm going to hammer upon. There's this very lackadaistic behavior. You understand what I mean by lackadaistic behavior? Like, you always want to be pushed. You always want to be checked on. You always want to be asked, what are you doing? No. You need to be the one asking, what exactly are we trying to do? What are we trying to change? What story, what narrative are we bringing in? Okay, there's this idea that I have. And I think that we can actually do something on it. Share the idea. There was one thing I learned when I was in particular in a company, an open idea box, which is everybody is allowed to pitch. But then, I had too many ideas. I was feeling too confident of myself. And then I was busy, I was telling my guy, and I need to share my idea. Maybe this logo still have implemented. That was the most stupid thing I did. You know why? I'm still a good guy. You agree there? I'm broke. Because probably if I had pitched my idea and it was good, eh, I would have received criticisms. But at the end of the day, let's say that the idea flew out the box. Okay? And probably it scaled through the market and I have maybe by now, because this was around 2012, okay? And then it scaled. And then probably the company helped me to scale up to having 15, 30,000 users on an application. Huh? What do you think I will be doing now? Ah, I will not be thinking I'll be sitting, I'll probably be sitting at home now, doing a picture meeting with people. And then I'll be telling you, yes, yes, I have 5 minutes. What will happen is we'll have to schedule for another meeting. I'll let them think of the thing. But it's not possible because I felt that the idea was owned by me. And all it is, I found out one thing. You don't own any idea. One particular idea might be in the head of 20 people in December. It's something about ideas. When you share it, huh, you start thinking at it, start moving the rubbish, start taking things that are important, putting new components to it. And if you build it into something that actually solves the problem, what happens? You start getting into roles where you don't have any reason to be in. And that's where you use the word opportunity. It's what? The readiness is what? Opportunity. Because you're there. Show up consistently. I know even I have that attitude. Something I don't feel like doing anything. Because but we have to start trying to kill those attitudes. They are individualistic. What might be my problem might not be your own problem, but we need to show up consistent. If you're going to win, you need to put on days that you don't want to. You just have to come with it. Okay? Document your journey. Especially for this particular. Let's look at the facts. You have all the social media. You have your Instagram. How many of you have Instagram? Okay. I will before the end of my session. Everybody can do that. So I want to give everybody to everybody. Put everybody. You know what I'm talking about now? Eh? Ask the next person close to you, what's your username on Instagram? What's your username on Twitter? Let's not do it. What does someone say? Follow yourselves. Not just come and just network and this person and that person. And then please, guys, don't come and be getting our system. It's not what we are here for. And we're not here to come and tell you for new girlfriend. All our ladies are looking quite beautiful. They are looking quite beautiful. So we are not here to tell you to exchange contact and be studying them and pretty. Are you pretty? Don't want that here. What I mean is follow for follow. Okay? Gain a new follower, gain something new. Okay? Start following yourself. Take pictures of this event today. Talk about it. Interact with people. Okay? That's about documenting your journey on the social media. And as you're building on any project, document it. Today, we're working on this. I don't know if you've seen that 100 days of coding. How many of you have seen all those sort of hashtags on Twitter? 100 days of coding, 2 days of doing this, 3 days of doing that, 1 week of this. Document, don't take that out of your journey. Document them. Take part of that story. It will not take anything from you. The world is a social space right now. Make the most use of every opportunity you have. Okay? Next slide. The first thing is what? Remember, the first thing I told you about was what? The God mindset. Being able to find order in what? Chaos. And also seeing the beauty in the madness. You know, many people talk to and they always talk about agriculture, mining, and all whatnot. Last time I had a meeting with a particular prominent individual, and I was telling him your shut up. How can that what we know we are doing? That if it was paper, it would stop all my necessary. I'm not joking about it. And it was quite disappointing. I said, "Hey, have you ever been outside Nigeria? Have you gone to China? Have you gone to Italy? Have you gone to that place?" It's not never been to China. I've been to some other part of the country. But what's your point exactly? He said, go to those places and see how they are industrializing. He said, it's good. How many of our youths have the money to industrialize the way you want us to? Industrialization is a multi-billion company. Many of us don't have more hundred thousands of naira, it's more billion that you want us to go into. That's like white elephant project that you want us to pursue. But if we start taking the steps that we need to take, the people will start recognizing the impact that we have in our society. Okay? Stay visible. We've been too hidden in Kalingo. It's not about having meetings with people of decades like ourselves. We need to start going to other events. We need to start making noise. You know when John said shout hallelujah? Huh? We need to start shouting hallelujahs like our churches. When your pastor says shout hallelujah, and then somebody will be passing on the roadside. What? You know, say, hallelujah. You know what I mean? That's what we start. We need to start doing as tech people. We are staying too hidden and we need to start making the noise that we need. And how are we going to make this noise? With the solutions that we bring to our society. Okay? And this year is already rounding up. I know by next year, a whole lot of the communities like the Sandlip, the GitHub, and many other tech communities coming up with brilliant ideas and many things to do. So watch out for those things. Be part of the journey as well. Learn loudly. Learn loudly. Okay? And then when things go wrong, an opportunity right now to work, and it's not going to take you anything. Find your niche and put down your ends. Next slide. Okay. So I'm going to leave you with this statement. Like Noah welcome the animals. And the ark is open right now. Come and join us on this journey. I can tell you, you're not going to regret it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Can you appreciate me? What a way to actually start this meetup. Do you have questions? Does anyone have questions around reinventing yourself? If you've not picked anything from what he has said, pick reinventing yourself, right? Pick the fact that there's a part in the slide that's about what's that part again? Yeah, thank you very much. Cool. Thank you. That last point. Early builders win big. Now that's the mistake some of us actually make, right? So for those of us that don't know, we are actually running a boot camp for starts. Some of us started. If you don't stay consistent, if you don't want
So those telecommunication companies, in the second, they get benefits. So really, why not everyone invest in the telecommunication company? That's one.
Please, can you appreciate him? Please snap here. Yes. So if you go to Play Store, you can even go to Play Store right now. So let if you're getting the S part, say hi.
Hi.
Hi, you wanna get it. If you're getting it, say hi, hi.
Hi.
Okay. Okay, so what? So you just go through the process of signing up. Normal sign up, just follow the prompts and it will direct you on what to do. Yeah. So what we're doing that we'll have our next speaker who will be speaking on start. So you fully get to know what start is, how you can also learn paramount. Impact should be a priority to be very, very important. Somebody say important, important. So we're going to get that. While I do that, we're going to see run through some icebreakers. Now, I want to see business people. They're looking for tech. I don't want to hear about tech people. Tech people just sit in one place. Business, if you're a business person, you don't see your hand. You do business. You on red. Yeah, please, can you stand up? Thank you. What business do you operate?
Let's start next.
Electrical appliances.
Oh, that's interesting. So now say I do sector, but I am starting with both farming. And so I want to go to the sense, and then it's the male goals and the female goals. So the idea there is to raise goals, female goals, and then pass to the female goals to then produce and then give you um, more goals, right? So and then things which I can expand from looking for an investor, either to buy and then give another state. And if possible, I would think of expanding, either moving to adding sheep to it, or maybe if it's gonna accommodate both chickens and goats. So it's just like an animal farm, right? Thank you very much. That's really amazing. Let me tell you one thing that you don't know or you should do, right? If you're not able to do according, right? Because I know a most of us have that challenge, right? Get a pen, get a paper, write your thoughts out. Yes, write it out. When this sort of opportunity comes, right, you've already memorized it, you've reversed it, you've read through, right? So at any given, look at what she said now. Even I would love to invest in my business. Maybe we'll have plenty growth. So that's interesting, right? So at this point, okay, so very quickly we're going to call the next speaker that will take us on another exciting journey. Please let's give it up for Shagwa or Akna.
Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon. So my name is Naba Wabi and I'll be taking you introduction to Start Blockchain. Next slide. So what exactly is Start? Start is the leading Bitcoin L2 to provide control of private key in the public asset. And then the flow out the app sends an authentication to your wallet, and then you approve it. You approve it means you're signing that transaction. You sign that particular request the wallet sent. And once you're done signing, app exchange and store the private key on the sorry, you use the public key to process your transaction. And then you use a Bitcoin naming system also, a human readable and strongly owned naming system built on Stack. So it gives you a global name you can use. You can use your own particular user. You can use the name you want, anything, and it's going to be a unique username. Just type your wallet address. And the Stack improvement proposal, which is the IPS, which was released, a formal governance and protocol improvement process for Stack. So Stack lacks some improvement. These are all the proposal they send. And the second one is the purpose. Describe new features, standard or changes, collect community feedback, and document designs decision. Anyone can propose this thing, can propose a Stack improvement proposal on their on their on their website. Click on propose and pass in the changes you want, and Stack will acknowledge that. Next slide. So technical architecture of the Stack blockchain, which number one, we use the employee the proof of transfer, the proof of transfer, the consensus mechanism anchoring Stack blockchain to the Bitcoin blockchain for enhanced security. So Stack is being tied to Bitcoin. Each transaction you make is being tied to a new Bitcoin a Bitcoin block. So it leverages Bitcoin for securities and for security properties while enabling reliable smart contract execution. It uses the client, which is the smart contract language designed for predicting and security. Its core components include decentralized nodes, miners securing the chain, and a distributed ledger. Architecture enables secure decentralized application benefiting from blockchain. Next slide. Clarity. Clarity is the smart with safety relationship to Bitcoin in mind. Unlike traditional get to a certain point, you get realization and deepen your understanding. So that's good regular space on X and Discord. You can participate in one of their key and your question and answer session to verify yourself on what you need to learn about that. So is there anything you want me to verify your answer since they are live session? Any question? Ask question. So I have a question. Question. Alright, so alright, so okay, sir. Alright, so there's no question. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation. And please keep your start. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jacob. Yeah, sorry, yeah. Some of us might have been confused. So if you don't have no question for Shaba, I have a question for you. And by you, I mean anybody. What's that? What's the whole idea behind Stack? From everything that you have said, what's the whole idea behind Stack? Everybody's like, I miss. Okay. No volunteer. Should we put money? Should we put money? Oh, money. Okay, please tell us what do you understand by Stack?
Right, so start the two Bitcoin. So there are two Bitcoin that is smart contracts. Like the presenter said earlier, notice that it's in Bitcoin. But as I said earlier, there is no what do you call it, smart contracts in Bitcoin. So start helps Bitcoin. So it's the Bitcoins, it's running smart contracts and other things.
If you want to know more about stocks, in fact, tech as a whole, you should what, join the community. According to our first speaker, join the community. Come and see how these things. Don't be somebody that will have to be. You'll be on the side. You are a spectator while others are actually building, right? So take part, be part of it, join community, and not just join community and just become a dormant community member. Be active, engage. You come to events like this, let it not just end as coming to events. Come to events, then ask this question, is this thing they are talking about? I believe like something like what we are talking about. Yes. That thing, you just need to meet up or meet up say because there is fun, there is food, there is but I push you away from that, right? You're going to actually change your life, your entire life for the better if you put your mind into whatever is being said. It's just a way where we'll have, there will be on something like a hot seat, there will be asked questions. You will also have the opportunity to ask them. So begin to document your questions. Write it. Like I said before, if you don't know how to express, articulate yourself, write it. There's nobody that is going to do it to you. Write it, give it to me, and then I'll help you read it out. Is that clear? So my team, please help us with chairs on the stage. will be like, who wants to be a millionaire? Yes, please. Can we have forward now? Okay. Thank you. So the very first person on my list will be the anchor. The person will be anchoring this session for us with the next comment now. We have Lucky Hassan Joseph. Thank you for And then next person we have Chuku Ebuka. Wow, please clap for him. And then last on my list we have Shabao Agnan. Okay, so I will leave you people to eat anytime. Hello everyone. Hello everyone. You're all welcome to this panel fireside conversation. And today we have three amazing builders with me. So before we delve very much, we will start with you.
Hello. Um, Once again, my name is Ibuka. Hello. Okay. So my name is Chukwu and I'm the community manager for the Unity local Jalingo, and it's a pleasure being here.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Joseph, and yeah, I'm also a community guy. It's nice to be here. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Shaba Rabi. I'm a software developer architect and also instructor at Sandlip Oasis.
I thank you very much. I am sure that most of us are curious about this particular session. Well, Taraba is at a turning point. Um, At this very point, we are not concerned about participating in the digital economy, but then how it is being built. Today's conversation is not about theory, but then it is about these builders, their journey, how they have broken barriers, how they have built their ecosystem from scratch. Today, the question is simple: how did they do it? Have they done it? And how can this be sustainable in Taraba? Ladies and gentlemen, you're all welcome to a side conversation with three builders who have walked the talk. Please a round of applause for them, please. All right, so my first question for Mr. Ebuka is right beside you. Looking back at your journey as an ecosystem builder, what was the most systematic or deeply rooted challenge you encountered, whether it was cultural lack of structure, funding gaps, or absence of community? How did you navigate, and what practical lessons can young people apply experience to avoid repeating the same struggle?
That's a very good question. So, how do I navigate around this? I'm going to start like this. First of all, when I came into the ecosystem, the tech ecosystem, it was quite every man for his game. Every man for his game. Okay? What I mean, that particular context is used in content. It's what you do before you eat. So when I came in, I had no I jumped in at one is part of like, back then, no knowledge. And the community, or when I started interviewing, it was quite complex and it was very difficult. And the assignments and the projects that were given every week was one that you had to, even on the weekend, there's no day off. Saturday and Sunday, you're working. So I felt very out of place. I didn't know what I was doing. I even had to take some of my friends to start giving me tutorials. They had me to sources like WG School and YouTube and the rest of them. So I started learning from open source as well. And but the most difficult thing I found was that some of these tech spaces, especially in the southern part of Nigeria, were very toxic in the sense that if you are not making it, you're going to be like nobody has time to start picking anybody. It's more of like a pride system, like a lion system, where if you're going to drag us behind, we leave you or throw you out. And then imagine at every point in time you're trying to survive in this field because the system was that in the internship, at every end of the month, there will be a drop down system. So if you're not meeting, you're going to be removed. So imagine coming in with no idea, no knowledge, and then you're starting to grab at every time. And when you start noticing, you feel like there's no foundation under you. Because over time, I got to understand that this year is built my conformity as a tech builder and as a community builder because I've noticed that if I use the same theory down here in the northern part of Nigeria, it's not going to work. Why? Because people here, when I was in Bauchi earlier, I found out that people here, if tech is not paying them immediately, they are not interested in it. So if I try to use the same pressure that I was played with or I was taught with, what happened? People here are doing those laptops as soon as possible. That's what we understand. So for me, building a community has become more of like a fatherly responsibility, and it takes a whole lot from you because you are going to be the mentor. You are going to be the one that is going to direct them. So the responsibility role is down here is much, much bigger than what we have down there. Here is what we find. So if you're part of us, you're part of us. This is what I expect you to deliver on. And this is I need it by the end of this social period. But I believe that at some point
that kind of approach we need to use there in order to see the grain from the chaff. Because at some point you need to start now building individuals and start standing out. Just like I said earlier in my presentation, that we struggle about. Because the biggest problem that even those of us that are doing it right now, I don't think we are doing it enough to make it loud. It's just like the only want us when we want to push clouds. They say, okay, we are down here and you come. Let's pick an event and then they bring us all together. And it's just for the benefits. But when we start building and we start training individuals and now building solutions to problems that are immediate, that are solving issues on the ground, you see that we start making the difference. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. So, my next question will be for Mr. Loki. So, sir, we all know that you were once a GBG lead and you've hosted lots of tech events here in Taraba. So, now my question is, how do we ensure that any ecosystem we build in Taraba is sustainable and not a one-time event? You know, how do we ensure that it stands the test of time, that we don't just come just like we came here today, you know, and then trash everything? How do we sustain it?
Yeah, thank you so much for asking. Um, yeah, so good morning everyone again. Yeah, so I'm sure most of the time, right? Sorry, I needed to correct something. I was GitHub, but the GDG is actually right. Yeah, so most of the time, right? I think every community, wants the basic challenge every community has is sustainability, right? Because we find out that there are a lot of communities, and sometimes over a quite period of time, we see that the community is not doing good. I, from some of the research I've done, some of the community is about people. And for you to have a sustainable community, the people need to know that they are benefiting something from the community, right? So, because if you're a part of community, what comes to our mind is, what am I getting from being part of this community, right? So, should it be monetary gain? Should it be skills? Should it be people? Just you just need to make your community member realize what you are going to do for the community to get the community going. Now, how do you do this? How do you identify some of the things you want? What are the things you want? Some of the times, we have had, let me reflect back on something. So there was a time we were having an event. So we were having an event. Uh, we were having the event, and after the event, I asked a question, I asked someone a question, like, come on, I was like, what's that? What do you think is missing from this event? Right. So he said he noticed, right, that most of the people don't know what is being discussed. They are dumbfounded, like all the discussion is just like jargon to them. So he said he has observed it in quite several events. So when he spoke about it, I agreed with him because I was actually noticing from the community, from the attendees, when you discuss anything you see, they will just look at you like that. So back to so we decided to find a solution to it. That was when after the last event, to solve this problem, we did a section. We had a section called starting out the time during hacking. Hacking was supposed to be one a technical event. It's supposed to be an event that people come and hack. But how do you hack when you don't have a lot of shares, right? Let's say this room now, the whole of this room, we don't have, I'm not sure, almost have the Roma hackers, right? So that's even we have. So we're just traveling around it. So that was what brought the idea. If you were at this is the idea that bent that starting out career. So we decided to start it out so that community members will know where to start from, right? So when they know where to start from, they can stay in the community. And after that, we decided to do something different. But we decided to say, okay, after identifying the career, we're able to create some groups to be able to have people into those groups. Yeah, you might be here and you're in that group, and maybe you're not being communicated yet. We are on the pipeline, we're trying to onboard mentors into that group. So I'm just sharing the roadmap, right? Identify what the community wants, right? What they need to, the benefits that they will get from it. So we have the identified areas and we move to the next section, which is about helping community members acquire skills. Because at the end of the day, every community member wants skills. And every community member wants something. And most of the time, apart from the skill and whatever it is, when you are in the community, the more you keep engaging, the more you stay in the community, you start identifying other things that you want. You might meet lifetime friends in communities. You might meet people that will impact you in different ways. Yeah, I think I don't want to cover on this part too much, but there's another thing that we discovered that I discovered that is not keeping communities going. Like apart from events, right? We're looking at other stuffs that will keep us growing. I think Sandlip is doing well in that aspect, having the hub. Those are other good ways to keep communities going because after you start learning, you want to keep you want to keep learning and relearning. And when you have issues, you want to get solutions. This is where those physical presence matters. Like Sunday Pop is a place where you find out that any member of this community that is in Sunday, you find out that the person, when you keep going to Sunday, it will always be quite difficult for you to miss out on activities that are related to community because you're already part of it. You're not just part of it in event, but you're part of it in skill because you're gaining something. What are you gaining? You're gaining skills. So yeah, I think I can stop here. I don't know if that makes sense, but thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Loki. Please do well to put down your question. After the session, we will take them. Thank you. So, my next question is for Mr. Sharpa. We would love to get that.
Okay. Well, I'm going to moment when I just read a particular moment I actually did this thing down. So I was working on the project with a couple of guys from India. They agreed to participate for an hackathon. So he said I should write a smart contract for them. Then I started
I thought it was from your friends because Mr. Lucky aired out a point that stood out for me. He spoke about the importance of engaging with the community, going to Sandlip consistently. At least if you have challenges like this, you could need people or mentors that have gone ahead of you. So they will encourage you. But then thank you very much and I think it's your girl. So my next question will be from Mr. Ika. Your invention comes with risk. Was there a moment when you doubted your ability to succeed, and how did you overcome that fear?
Okay, yeah. There's one thing I've noticed. I don't see a whole lot of moms, and I would say this: if you come to a southern tech event, you must see moms, and all you will see inside is either energy drink or coffee. So you will stay overly caffeinated every point in time. There was a time that I was on, it was so tedious, and the profits were not taking any chances with it. So at some point, yeah, it's out of this because there are people that can actually demoralize you by what they tell you. Yes, they will tell you you're not part of this, you're not supposed to be doing this. I think you should go back to school, probably get a second degree again. Yeah, no worry, just keep pushing, no matter how it is, keep pushing. And then probably on the weekend, you ask, okay, what particular part of this project are you not understanding? And because it was a very competitive internship, everybody, just like I said, kill your name. So what you need is what you have to kill by yourself. So it was like, okay,
maybe by giving him a particular amount of money, or let's say for instance you give the person a laptop or a sewing machine. But if his mind has not been thought on how to actually use this particular thing and utilize it, then he might go the other way into probably selling it or dumping it. So we really want to know, for you, was it the whole mindset shift? Did you align yourself to the global space? Did you start telling yourself that I am for the global world, you not to get into
Yeah, all right. Thanks for asking. So basically, open source is. I would like to start by telling you that everything that brought me to open source was partnering, right? Because at the time, we all know how we all this before. So at the time, I discovered that almost any kind of project you want to do, any kind of whichever kind of project you want to do, most of the time, whichever idea you have, most of the time, when you go to your GitHub, when you go to GitHub and search it, sometimes there are possibilities that someone has done something like that and is already there. Yeah, I discovered that open source is not just one thing that is just focused on one thing, like open source for everyone. So this is what, and I feel like, okay, since this open source is for everyone, why don't I hammer a lot on it? And after discovering that it is for everyone, I started looking at the opportunities that are in open source. And as I started looking at opportunities that are in open source, I discovered that there are a lot of global opportunities that are in open source. So first point, I said passion, right? You need to be passionate about this. You need to know what you want as a person. So I for me see that this is what will benefit everyone. It's not like it's one sided stuff, it's for everyone. So I started from there and I started exploring the opportunities that are in open source. Then I discovered all the global opportunities that are in open source. I discovered that sometimes, let me tell you, there are organizations that you want to join, you want to work, and you find out that most of the time it's not all about applying to take job in that organization or practice. You might be skilled. There are a lot of people that are more skilled than you, and they don't have job, right? So I discovered that through open source, right, you get that global connection. How do I mean? When let's say you want to get you identify an organization that you want to work, and you decide to go to their code base, right, on GitHub. You go to their code base and you start making contributions to them, like excess contribution. It will get to a stage that in that organization, they will all know you, especially the maintainers. You become very popular that they will all know you. When your name is being mentioned, you'll be like, this guy is doing well, right? And thanks to open source, right? So when you keep making those contributions, a time will come that in the organization, it will be easy for them to absorb the it's easy for them to reach out to you and get you into the organization without you applying. Right? There are also open source programs, global open source programs that can position globally. It provides opportunities like from like those programs, right? Now how those programs works is that when when those programs are being announced, a lot of organizations reach out to them and express interest for folks that can prepare to work on their open source project. Right? So when those organizations reach out, now for example, let's take Google Summer of Code, for example, or uh, I'm trying to remember this popular one. Apart from Google Summer, let's take right. So those are some of the programs that a lot of organizations there that pushes you globally. Now, to answer your question, it's like how the passion, I spoke about the passion, and what puts globally is your contribution, identifying organizations, identifying global, because most of those organizations you're identifying are not located in your country, they are global, and also you utilize social media a lot. I always we talk about LinkedIn, LinkedIn community manager here, right? So we want LinkedIn as the home for opportunities, right? So most of the time, your contribution was not really the technical contribution because in open source there are different kind of contribution. We can no code contribution, we can host events, we can be writing about them, you can get a lot of stuff. So through LinkedIn, digitalizing social media like LinkedIn, I discovered for Web3 folks, I discovered that X was better for you guys. So if there were 3%, I feel like uh, um, X is your best shot. So when you utilize social media, it exposes you to a lot of global opportunities. And most of the opportunities I'm watching, I think, has been through this roadmaps, this steps that I do. I identify my passion, I follow it, I connect globally. Yeah, that's that for me. Thank you so much.
Just like we said earlier, one is value. I'm going to do something that if you've been part of the Bounty community, there is mentor called Mr. Ango. I don't know, yeah, Mr. Ango. He's very, very popular in the Northeast. So he said, don't come to the event for the polos or the joggers. Because many of us come for the event for the polo. Come to learn how to make value for yourself. And this guy and his brothers have shown how it is to build value at everyone because he himself is dead. His brother is a fashionista, but he has brought them into fashion. And they've been holding conferences, conventions like this all over the world. They even do a TEDx in Netherlands. They don't even know how they got connected to do that. So one thing you need to understand is that those three guys that I earlier mentioned include value because when they came into back end, they were doing partly very well. So even before people were planning to start applying for remote jobs, we were already applying for remote jobs. And now today, I think one is with Google, the other is with LinkedIn, and then one is with Azure. But yes, Microsoft. And they are making like this stage, if I call them, they're always unavailable. Because I don't have that value at that particular point to give them anything. So I have to work with their time. So for you to be there, have value. It's not about the social media, have value. It's when you have value and like there's make contribution on the open source and the maintenance people want to put up with. The question here is where are you making your contributions to? Who is taking note of your journey? If nobody is taking note of your journey or seeing value in what you do, you will continue to remain a magician. You continue to do that, everybody will be like, this person is like this. So at the end of that conversation, and that is where you now build your community on the Twitter and then your portfolio. Because yesterday at Oasis, we are also discussing about building portfolios as setting individual. Many of us here don't have portfolios. So all these little projects that we're working on that you think that they are relevant, they are part of your journey. Build your portfolio, build it up. So when you are posting things on LinkedIn, you don't need to tell somebody, or somebody has to come and tell you before you start telling the person by word of mouth that I do this. If you're cooking, you cook and you cook both of them. And somebody might just come and give recommendation. Oh, I went to a customer place and I ate her rice and it was wonderful. That's feedback, but you already cooking. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. It's very much stressed on the importance of value, and it was made with what Mr. Shaka was saying agenda regarding his Web3 journey. You know, if he had enough value at that point in time, he would have delivered. So when you have value, you would not be resisted. And also, our social media is not for cloud chasing, just like Mr. Lobby said. You could leverage on it for global opportunities. Like Mr. Yuka said on LinkedIn, most times you see applications. And also, I don't know, I feel like there are virtual conferences, virtual summits, so leverage on. So LinkedIn is also the perfect place. Thank you very much. Um, so Mr. Shabao, how do we bring young people in Taraba with the skills needed to participate in the global digital economy, going with 2030 UN agenda, which we all know on issues of decent work and economic growth, and for a fact that that there are lots of young people, especially in Taraba, that have deviated and engage in drug abuse, fraud, etc., which is quite alarming in this state. So how can we prove them? How can we empower them with the necessary skills in the global digital economy? Thank you very much.
So first thing first, can have those people, you can teach them what's all about their mindset. So before teaching them anything skill, you have to teach them or you have to change their mindset first. Because I know someone that was into the winning and then is now a technical. And I saw the other time during the arrest and he did the driving. I saw the post, I was laughing. And I was like, when you are among there, why are you laughing? So I believe she told me first, give me a book and she read. I refused to. He pressured me and I decided to read the book. Then when I went back to the Bible, how is it mindset now? I said, I'm scared. He then told me and I said, okay, look, if you want to accomplish something, forget about everything. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. You see, you won't lie to me, it's not easy.
they don't have the skill. So when we went there, we started by explaining to them, telling them about the kind of skills that they can acquire, the things that are possible outside beyond the classroom. Because students in education precisely, the mindset has always been in the classroom. People don't always think people in the classroom. So when we started by cultivating what people will gain beyond the classroom. So we made those introduction and we broke down everything into pieces. And afterwards, we had a tons of interested folks that wanted to get their skills beyond the classroom. So, yeah, skill beyond the classroom can never be overemphasized. It's something that if you think about the future for yourself, if you think about not just getting done with school and staying without nothing to do. We know how difficult it is nowadays to do jobs. So getting that skills beyond the classroom is actually very, very valuable. And students will build that interest of getting that skills beyond the classroom when community, just like we do, like when community go to them and tell them the value of what they get beyond the classroom. So yeah, I don't think that answers your question. Thank you so much. Thank you. Mr. Ibrahim. So Mr. Ibuka, you are a community manager for LinkedIn, and these days we see lots of organizations, non-governmental organizations, empowering young people with skills. A few weeks ago, African Union did similar thing, and the Gates Foundation also did something similar. So, how do you think as the community, we could leverage on this?
Okay, okay, the key word here is collaboration. What do I mean by collaboration? I've noticed that, okay, let me not say this. The key important thing here is that we are playing many of the organizations or communities. We all have the best Sean is working well back end and the rest of them. Okay, and I want on the professional aspect. I don't actually want to know what your specific field is. It's how to get you out there. So now, how do we bridge point A to point B? That's the journey in between that what we're talking about. Now, how do we do this? If we start building a community of like-minded individuals that are coming together, and we say, okay, since African Union is giving this sort of opportunity, how do we play along with it? What are they looking for? Okay, let's say they are looking for people that are building solutions to problems. Now, let's come to Jalingo. There are over 1,000 problems, over 1,000 problems that I can even mention around this particular environment that we are having. But many of us will walk into this room and keep a short eye to it. You are not doing anything about it. You are expecting your government to do something. And that's why he said, forget about the money. Yeah, money is important, but if you don't start playing at the billionaire mindset, okay, what do I mean by billionaire mindset? Solutions that can last for a future. Let's take, for example, Dangote. Okay, Dangote started with commodities. From commodities, he went into cement. From cement, he went into sugar. Okay, but there's one thing that that guy has been able to do that has been very wonderful. I understood. He used the Carnegie method of handling business, which is what controlling from point A, B, and C. You are the distributor, you are the manufacturer, but the resources or the raw materials for creating those things are you. Let's take, for example, the sugar factory. Think of the factory where you're going to go visit. Okay? But he doesn't import any of his sugar cane, does he? No, he doesn't. All the farms that you see that have a sugar cane on it is so that I can go to other. Okay? So the sugar is not even getting any of the raw materials outside from where it's coming. It's something essential for where it's manufactured. The life flow company is very good to company. So when we start building stop problems in our immediate environment, then let's know that we have solution. That what we are then looking for is funding. That's one thing. But many of us don't want to do it. We want to be part of the winning team. Meanwhile, we all have the potential to build large companies that can get us the billion naira, the $1 billion that we're looking for, but we're not doing anything with it. And it's very unfortunate because we think that the insurgency and the volatility of the north is keeping people away. No. All they need to do when the people in the south see the opportunity and they started to perceive it, they have something to perceive. All they need to do is empower somebody with the money, the funds, and to still be at their safety and to still make it. So it's high time we start knowing that it's not about making $400 per hour or making $400 and then you calculate it, you have 2 million, 3 million. It's actually time to grind, take that backbone that you need to get, grind through it, build that solution that you need to build. So when you are actually coming to all these events, because we need to start going to better events, we need to start putting ourselves out there. We need to start changing the narrative that Taraba City is not just a back end state. We need to start bringing ourselves to the podium. We need to start winning. So when we start building solutions that are working in our society, what happens? It resonates. And what we resonates, what happens? Doesn't need to work for you 1 million. If we have the right solutions for the town, and I'm talking to all of us, including myself, we will see that we could go for the AU, we can even go to the family thing about the thing in the money foundation. But many of the women are from Nigeria. And then we start to see that where we coming from. Look at Kenya, look at Rwanda, what is different in these countries? Different, it's correct from the reality in Nigeria. They have it in Kenya, they have it in Rwanda. But these youths are just focused on what solutions that are and then when they get that money, what do they then do? We now try to remove themselves from that environment that's constraining them and go to better places where their business is trying. And that's the issue. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. If you want to go to thank you very much. And we will now be taking questions. It's just 3 questions. If anybody have a question, you could do well to raise your hand to get the question. I am sure we had a great time here and we should have questions, shouldn't we? All right.
My name is question goes Sir, I would like to know that I see that you have come across some challenges during building on your community. So sir, I would like to know that how did you tackle, how did you confront those challenges to see that have achieved? Okay, challenges in communities. Okay, like give me an example of the challenge that you're talking about. At this side, our local okay, like uh, the type of coming up, okay, like starting, like start, yes, there are some people that should be saying that it's not work for you. Okay, okay, I understand you. So I don't give you realistic answers. I'm going to start with my parents. Okay, when I came back after my 1 year, education out from there. I came back and I started gambling. And then my major concern was on IoT, Internet of Things, because that was where all it was based on networking, Internet of Things, cybersecurity. And every day I was just carrying my laptop around. And my mom would ask me, you know, I'm not getting any longer. What is that everything with this laptop carrying around? It came up because I'm moving in this direction. And people like people giving the best support and go on and actually stop. They'll be just stop that with the bottlenecks. Okay? But what you need to understand is that the hunger should be more than the book. Like somebody trying to draw you. That thing that is giving you the hunger to strive to be better, to be better than the that is trying to stop. Because it's just like the end goal should be you are fighting every day. If you need to write it on your wall, like for me, some people come to my house and they'll be like, why do you have potatoes all over your wall? And they are my reminders. I need to remind myself that this is what they do. So whatever that works for you, you need to actually ask yourself, can I grind this out? And if I can, how do I need to structure myself? And then what do I need to do? And those are the questions that you need to ask yourself. Okay, I'm going to go into tech. I'm going into what do I need for tech? There's a community for tech. John is already doing that. That's what I'm saying. Find your niche, ask your questions, get in touch with people. That's why this space is also a place for networking. Do what you need to get together in this place.
My question is that instead of importance, the start monitoring test which doesn't bring immediate solution in my own environment is not a problem today. Hi, thank you, Grass. So, any problem that you're trying to solve is never a waste, right? In tech, we are not aiming to solve problems just in our local environment. But most of the time, even though we advise that it is good to solve problems in the local environment because the security begins at home. But when you're building solutions, you shouldn't focus on feeling that because my solution is not solving a problem in my environment, it's going to be a problem. No. You should just focus on building, as far as it's solving a problem, the keys are not, they are not to be problem solvers. So any kind of problem you're solving, even if it is not for your environment, I think you'll find which. Okay, thank you.
Right, good afternoon. My question is in regards to one of the slides presented by Sadika in slide concerning known coding rules for people that are eventually to coordination, commerce managers, and the likes. So my attention caught moderators. So I just want to get more about being a moderator because on Twitter now in X, I've been seeing some things about being a moderator, but whenever I try to apply, I end up not getting a response back. So now lecturing is being a moderator. What do you need so that you can stand out really when going for an application that you believe that after this basics are learned, I will have a higher chance of getting the moderator?
Okay, so my question here to you is, have you started doing any research? Like, I don't mean like research in terms of life research, like yourself, you qualify being a because this is something that you're interested in.
Yes, I have basics of most times moderators needs for either in cryptocurrency projects, so I have basics of cryptocurrencies, Web3, and that will help me get to understand the project more and be of assistance to the project. But then now going out to reach out to them, I don't really get response to that. So unfortunately, I am not up to what they are looking for. They are seeing this is something that I still don't get.
This is my advice to you. Okay, do more research on what you want. Okay, find the community, find community of moderators, go for what's it called? Space, space. Like there's this one that happens every Tuesdays and Thursdays by 7 p.m. Then we discuss different ideas. Jump on it. Also go to Clubhouse. I don't know how many of you go to Clubhouse. The app called Clubhouse. Yes, go to Clubhouse. Search for spaces for learn from us. Join them, listen, don't ask questions. Try to absorb it and then find the person that spoke on something that actually touches the field you're looking at. Contact it directly. And don't go and be sending hi, send him a cold mail. Straight to the point, sir, my name is this. This is what I've done. This is where my challenge is. What do you suggest to me? You send it and but like I said earlier, moderation is not it's not my niche. I cannot give you advice on what my niche is about. But I know if you do the right research for yourself, you make a solution.
Thank you very much. So just one slot. Let there be that you can see it's a lady. We want a lady to. And my lady is this. Anyone? We have a slot. Victoria. Yes. I want to ask a question on one slide. We talked on the slide is a roadmap, and we mentioned 40s, and I wanted to ask one question of showing up consistent as someone starting how do we want to stay consistent? Because I know that that area is somewhere that I fall into that story. But I don't stay consistent and also think sometimes. So what's advice? I need some advice.
Especially as many professors that have already found the answers to the I'm also going to people that said like what Shabbat, everybody's approach is different. Do I procrastinate? I think I'm probably the chairman of procrastinators. Okay. But that's why I push people around. I always documentation. I write a lot. Okay. So I like to write what I'm going to, even if I fall out. Huh? It's good to have where you're going to document it so you can go back and do what you fix it. The problem is if you don't document, it becomes difficult to follow through. Okay? And then try as much as possible to get people that are moving in the same direction which you are going. And I can't overemphasize that. I know for the past 2 weeks, I've been in the midst of a job. I'm not lying to you on a consistent basis. And there's one thing I've noticed, no wrong. Like let your head not go and believe for you, but don't really share. Staying around them and this organized not need to think outside the box. Because I'm a talkative. I don't know if you know if I'm a talkative. I like talking about so much. I don't like talking about I like talking about what's the next thing we need to do right now. How do we change our environment? How do we do so? So find people that motivate you, find people that spark, that help you feel your fire. So that you can consistently turn up where you need to be. Okay? Like I was not really like
Yeah, so let's just sum it up. Right? So there's what we call smart goal. They are all procrastinators, like generally we are all we procrastinate. So, but smart goals, right? Now, what smart goals really means is that you apply what you want to achieve from when to when, right? maybe in this whole month, I want to achieve how to do this. So in your smart goals, you can have maybe you can utilize Notion and draft out today, this is what I want to do. Tomorrow, this is what I want to do. And you also try to identify things that are your distraction. What are the things that distract you? So when you identify those things that distract you is a very good way to start. And when you apply your smart goals and apply your distractions, if your distraction is your bed, your distraction is the house, whatever is your distraction. But most importantly, when you do these two things, you also need to stay around people that do what you do. Just like I said, Sandlip is a very good person, right? You always go there and you keep following your smart goals. Be consistent. Before you know, you get things done. Thank you so much.
And I don't know why they ask because I've been procrastinating since day to day. But one thing that what you said is distraction. My own personal distraction is my phone. When I wanted to learn this thing, whatever you want to learn, stick on that in that same time. Go on Twitter, right? Just 60-year-old and procrastination with that. Just 16-year-old, you see a 16-year-old like I just do this, I just do this, and then you keep this is what I can actually work. Set timer. Look at every time I want to work, I look at that post, I say it's a 16-year-old that do this. I can also work. So I set my timer in the morning when I'm done with my job around 10 to 2 before I leave that thing. I don't touch my phone, I don't do anything. I put my phone on work mode, blocks everything on my phone. So sometimes I even give my younger brother my phone in distraction. Then set your timer. Look at like just uh doing whatever it is your phone. Every morning look at it and procrastination. That's I would say procrastination will go fully. So but set your goals and your mindset what you want to achieve. Let whatever things like you're down for be your motivation. So that like the earlier stuff I told you about his parent. The same thing with mine. I said no, this distraction will not distract me. I used the word they said. I printed it out and every day I want to work, I look at them and say, yes, I'm going to, I'm going to do this. Then, um, another thing you should do, sorry, I hear you. It's break your goals. Okay? But not because you can go and do transfer. Take this step. Get your break down your goals. I can't choose very ambitious goals that are being together. There are people that can just can take the Ghana must go back of school and go throughout the day and get it. Me, if I try it, I might not come to it. You understand me? Find where your strength lies. See, you have to brother. You don't have to brother. I cannot do anybody my name. And if I remember that I need to go to WhatsApp, right now, my WhatsApp don't send notification, but I think I remove it because I want to go. At the same time, I need to go and know if somebody important than I beg, get your votes, get your food, make find smaller things that you can do on a daily basis. Even if it's go for 30 minutes and go out and dance for 1 hour, whatever that works for you. And then I don't think it's just community. Let's be very specific. But when I say community, find your tribe. That's one thing I've understood with Oasis. Oasis is the community. But you will see Shabbat and guys, they will be discussing, they will bring their thing, they will just jolly good fellow. Those prides are what community is what find your tribe is who you can contact in the middle of the night, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Start building full relationship. Because that's another thing I found out. You don't have you always want to talk about this person and that. This person get different get people around. Okay.
And thank you very much. Very much, Asika. So they emphasized on setting smart goals. They said we could set goals maybe for the year, a month, a day, or a week, and we could also keep track of these goals. And when we spoke about being with your child, people get accountability partners. You could have friends that will help you keep track of what you're doing. You could also have mentors that you could be talking to every week or every month, looking at their schedules. They could also help. So thank you very much. All right. The first study. Sorry. All right. Thank you very much. Please, a round of applause for that. Thank you very much for that. Amazing. I did not help yourself. My guys. Okay, so thank you everyone for sticking around this far, right? We have just one more session to go. And I promise you, this is the session you want to hear about. Because this is going to determine if all of these things that we came here to do is actually fruitful, right? So if you've already gotten the expert wallet, right? Please send your profile to this number on WhatsApp. If you've not gotten it, please raise your hand. If you've not gotten it, wallet. So everyone of us here has it. Please, if you don't raise your hand so that the thing will have to have somebody here, they will come and get this setting up. If 1 million naira will be sent to that wallet, so me, I'm telling you my own now. You better get it. And where is that person that spoke about consistency, staying consistent? Right? I'll give you just the one liner, right? To stay consistent, look at the goal, like look at the end result. Don't even look at the process first. Let me give you an example. So, say I want to get $1 billion, right? I'm looking at that $1 billion. That's just where my focus is. I cannot be, see, if you get distracted, it means you're not looking at the results. If anything is distracting you, you are not looking at the results. If you look at the results, distraction will not be on one side, right? I hope that resonates with somebody. So we have John taking us deeper into the stacks, ecosystem, um, sounds okay. So before it comes up, if you have the opportunity, yeah, what language would you like to learn? You have the opportunity. If someone came and then said, "What language do you want to learn?"
Hello. So, for me, if I have an opportunity to learn one language, I will learn prompt engineering. Today is the goal digger.
You see, no, this is my problem with people that are coach and tech people. I'm talking about one language. That's my problem. Guys, I can
Hausa.
I mean, programming language. Why is tech in your head so much? Okay, so another thing, another icebreaker. Say you have hobby, right? That I want to pay you to showcase. What hobby are you going to showcase? Do you get that question? Do you not is hobby HOBBY? Baking. He said baking. I used to think we are a little bit sophisticated, will say reading. You know, if you want to look serious, they'll ask them, what's your hobby? This one will say reading, this one will say writing. Nobody knows that you love to play too much. Okay, there's somebody there.
Yeah. Still design.
Oh, that's interesting. Costume. Okay, I can actually pay for that. That costume. I love it. Okay, so we are ready for John. Please sit tight and enjoy yourselves.
Hi. Hello, everyone. Hello. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, and you really want to show, if you're happy and you know, say start. Should we go by it again? If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, and you really want to show, if you're happy and you know, say start. That's not loud enough. Say start. Very good. While we're trying to fix the technical issue, I want to project what it's going to be more of a demonstration. I'll be talking about some of the technical aspects of stacks. I'm very happy we have developers among you here. We're going to be, I'll talk about the structure of the stacks blockchain, how it works, what makes it works. For those of you who have not heard of consensus mechanism today, you hear about it today and what it means. For those that have heard about it, I'm very happy you have. You are going to learn about a new consensus mechanism and how it works. And then I'm going to show you something I made mention of earlier on when I came up. Who heard when I said you can earn Bitcoin on stacks? Let me see your hands up. Very good. So I'm going to show you how to earn Bitcoin on stacks, and I'm also going to talk about SBTC. SBTC is the one-to-one pegged token on stacks. It's big on stacks, one-to-one ratio. So one SBTC is equal to one BTC that you know. We're going to be talking about all. I'm going to cover all that, and then you guys will also encourage you if you want to learn, if you want to earn Bitcoin via Start Network, then you understand how to do that through stacking. That's what I'm going to demonstrate. But before that, does anyone have any question whatsoever you want to understand about stacks? You've been hearing stacks from the beginning. Let me clarify on that before we go into the technical aspects. Anyone? Okay. It means I believe the speakers and the fireside chats guys have done justice to everything. Is that correct? Is that correct? Should we sing again? All right, thank you so much. It's disheartening that my PC is not connected to this. While that's coming up, I want to identify those of you here that are technical. If you are technical, let me see your hand up, please. You are a technical person. If you're a technical person, please let me see your hand up. Techies. I can see some people at the back.
Okay, that's good. Thank you very much. Okay, so we're going to use another PC to display. We'll just follow as we go on. Okay. Now, for those of you in tech already, and those of you that are new, a little bit new to tech, we have some of you here participating in the Stacks Bitcoin and the Stacks Bootcamp we are currently running. And I'm sure you all testify to the fact that it has been an amazing journey. Building on Stacks is a very beautiful thing with the Stacks programming, the Stacks Clarity language for writing smart contracts. The Stacks Clarity language for writing smart contracts, which is very easy and very interactive, human readable, easily readable by human. It's very engaging to write smart contracts with clarity and also understand what you're doing and execute it. So Stacks is a very secure blockchain, very secure. Yeah. Stacks is a If I'm just going to do a quick run through of Bitcoin here before we proceed. So Bitcoin was founded by an individual with the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto, and it's the first blockchain one wallet to another, just to transfer money from one, to transfer the BTC, which we believe is money. You transfer it from one wallet to another wallet. Now, Stacks came up to create smart so that you can build just financial transactions, but to other types of applications on Bitcoin. You're building, you can build decentralized identity systems on Bitcoin using Stacks. You can build financial transaction applications too, which is the normal one. We can also build applications like Zero Authority, where something like Upwork, you can work, or Freelancer, every other freelance application on Bitcoin through Stacks ecosystem or through Stacks smart contracts. So the Stacks allow you build applications on Bitcoin using their smart contracts, which is the Clarity language. The Clarity language is what you can use to build smart contracts on Stacks. And if you are familiar with Lisp programming language, Stacks is the Stacks smart contracts. The Clarity language is written very closely related to the Lisp language. And another thing about the Stacks ecosystem is, aside from the smart contracts, I've mentioned security is very scalable, and then it uses a consensus mechanism that is native to it. The Stacks ecosystem actually came up with the proof of transfer consensus mechanism. I mentioned that earlier, and I said I was going to explain to you what it means, consensus mechanism. So consensus mechanism is how blockchains agree that a transaction is valid and then write it into the block. Is that clear? Do you understand? Are you guys with me? Or am I boring you with the technicalities? So when someone performs a transaction on the blockchain, there's a way you get rewarded for that transaction. And for you to get, for those that are partaking in the consensus, they get rewarded. You that is carrying out the transaction, taking in that consensus, they are the ones that validate your transaction to make sure it is legit. It is like legit in the Nigeria term. In English, you say the transaction is valid, the valid transaction. So that's to make sure you have the balance that you claim to have. The person you are transferring to can receive that balance that you are trying to transfer, or then after that is done, consensus, they get read from your gas fee. Just like in banking, when you want to do a transaction, they check your balance, they check the person you are sending to if it's a valid account number or not, and then transfer the value from your this is Stacks, and this is the broader Web3 ecosystem where you have every of the DeFi applications and every other thing, NFTs and so on in Web3. So Bitcoin secures Stacks, while Stacks allow the Web3 ecosystem to interact with Bitcoin through it. You see what I mean? So before you go from here to here, you have to pass through this, and this is where Stacks come in. It builds that layer for you to be able to build your application on Bitcoin and interact with it. Is that clear? Thank you. Let's go lower. Now, the proof of transfer, as I was talking about, in blockchain, there are so many consensus mechanisms. We have proof of work, which is what Bitcoin uses. We have proof of stake, which is what Polygon and Ethereum currently uses. We have proof of transfer, which I mentioned earlier is native to Stacks. They came up with the consensus mechanism where you transfer funds to a designated wallet. It gets locked there, and then from every transaction that is carried out on the Stacks Echo or the Stacks blockchain, you get rewarded for it. Now you can choose to get rewarded either in STX, which is the native token of Stacks, or in Bitcoin. Does that make sense? Like if you want to earn in Bitcoin, very easy, you get your earning in Bitcoin. If you want to earn in Stacks, you earn in Stacks. Now let's go down a little bit. There's a diagram there you will see. Yeah, go down. Okay, so this is what the proof of transfer mechanism. This is how it works. Click on the image to expand it. Scroll up a little bit. Hope you, those of you from the back, hope you can see what have this. The image is here. What's written here? Let's expand. No, just take it back. Okay, it's here. Reset. Yes. Click the image. Please Control plus to expand it. Increase the size. Plus that will be up before close to backspace. Okay, so I'll just continue from here. So there are two participants in the start consensus. The first set are the miners and the other set are the stackers. Now for the miners, they mine BTC. So just click on the image to expand it. Then yeah, so we'll leave it this way. So for the miners, miners transfer BTC, which is Bitcoin token. They transfer it to stackers and for a chance to win a block reward. So the block is a collection of transactions that has been carried out on the blockchain, on the blockchain. They are put together and wrapped as one inside a block, then passed to attach to all previous transactions in the blockchain. Now the miners transfer Bitcoin to stackers, and then when that is done, they get a chance to win the next block reward, which is the transaction fees, as I mentioned. How much you're transferring, sometimes just Naira, then sometimes 53 Naira, depending on the size, the volume of what you're transferring or the amount you're transferring. So those transaction fees is remitted to your bank, NIPS, and every other government body. But in this ecosystem, in this setting now, it gets transferred or you get rewarded in BTC. STX, like I said, is the native token of the Stacks ecosystem. Is that clear? Once you make that transaction, and if you stack every transaction, depending on the amount that you locked and the duration, that's the amount of reward you get. For the miners, they transfer their Bitcoin. For the stackers, you just lock your STX token and then you get rewarded for it. Do we have any question? Anyone? No? Good. Now let's go to the next image. Yeah, this one. So this image, I hope those of you from the back can see now. This image gives you a picture of how the mining and stacking works. So the first image here, these are the miners. They transfer their BTC, which here spends BTC, they win the block, and then transfer the BTC. This is where the stackers are. They lock their STX and they receive the BTC from the miners. You get it? They receive the BTC from the miners, and then this process of locking the STX is what is called stacking, or in a normal English they call it stake. You stake your token, you get rewarded in it. But for stacks, we call it stacking. So we are just cool like that. So you stack and then you receive BTC, and then they receive BTC for this is stacker 1, this is stacker 2. After you win the block, all the transaction fees, because in start every transaction you make is paid in STX, not in BTC, which is this same token here, but not this one. It gets paid in STX by the person doing the transaction. That's what's called gas fee. And those gas fee is now sent back to the miner. That is why you see this branch here. The transaction gets written to the blockchain and then receives newly minted STX reward plus transaction fees. So it's a win-win game for everybody. The miners get rewarded, the stackers also get rewarded. Once the transaction passes through, the transaction fee is added to the amount of stacks that is going to be minted and transferred back to the miner that is writing that block, the miner that wins the block. So you see how cool Stacks is. And like I said, it's very secure. Stacks is secure because to overwrite let's open the Stacks Explorer, hero.explorer.xo. I want to show you real time how Stacks transaction work. Hero, Hiro. Yes, explorer.io. No, .so. Not found. Sorry, explorer.hero.so. Explorer.hero.so. So this is the Explorer. This is where you see every transaction happening on the Stacks ecosystem. Everyone. Now click on this button here, Stacks block. These are all transactions happening on the Stacks network itself. You see these transactions are wrapped under this one here. Each of these is a block of transaction. Some of them have 2 transactions, 1, 1, 1. These ones are 2. There are some that go higher and the number increases. Now here, this block has been going for 4 minutes and it has a total of 60 or 63. Okay, 65 blocks in it. Each of these is a block on the stars network. All these blocks together under this bigger block, and this bigger block will then be written back to the Bitcoin block. Click here to refresh, to update the transactions there. You see the numbers change. Now let's come back to the Bitcoin block. All these transactions here, they will come back and be written as one block on the Bitcoin network. You understand? You see how Stacks is securing everything you do, all your transactions and all on Bitcoin. So it doesn't just write, like I said, Stacks is a unique kind of layer 2 blockchain, because unlike other layer 2 blockchains that uses the native token of their layer 1 counterparts to pay transaction fee of their layer 1 for security, consensus, and all of that. Stacks is different. Stacks has its own consensus mechanism. It has its Stacks has its own consensus mechanism, which I mentioned is proof of transfer. It also has its native token, which I mentioned STX earlier, which is the Stacks token. It also has its on-chain finality. On-chain finality, let's go back to this Stacks block. No, the Explorer. Yeah. So this, I told you, these are blocks. It final transactions on inside each of these blocks, all the blocks together and write it into this particular one. See this number up here? If you go back to this Bitcoin block, you will see the same number there. So it analyzes the transaction and then wraps it up as one, send it to Bitcoin for security. So that's the transaction finality. And then it has its own independent network and it nodes. It has its own nodes, it has its network, which is the Stacks network. It also has it's also a base layer for layer 2 solutions. Sorry, it's a base layer for it's a layer 2 solution under Bitcoin. Like I said, it depends on Bitcoin for security. That is why it's still considered a layer 2. And then it has its native governance, which is the Stacks forum, where you go and see, where you vote on consensus and every other what's the word again? Proposals submitted on Stacks network for improvements and community engagement and all of that. You can go and you can manage it on the Stacks forum, and you can vote on that. The DAO, that's the decentralized autonomous organization. You can manage all of that. So Stacks, like I said, very unique kind of L2. It's secure. It has features that other L2s don't have. And because it hedges on Bitcoin. Now let's go back to the Bitcoin block here. This one. Click here to update. See, we have new transaction. What number is here? 6. So there are currently 6 transactions in this Bitcoin. By the time this block finalizes on the Bitcoin network, the number there may increase. So like this one is 138 or 36. 38 here. This one is about 35. This is 56. So that's Bitcoin and Stacks for you. They have a very beautiful relationship. And if you're someone that loves security, you enjoy the freedom blockchain gives you, build on Stacks. For those of you already building solutions, try Stacks. You'll love it. It's plenty. Okay, let's go back to this. I'd love to do this demonstration, but I won't be able to connect Okay, so Like I said, after all of that, start wrapped up the transaction, wraps it up and send it to Bitcoin. After I send it to Bitcoin, Bitcoin does its own finality on those transactions. That is where it becomes almost impossible to hack or almost impossible to change the transaction, if not impossible, because how will you go and get 51% of all those transactions? That's going to be a lot of work. And if you read the Bitcoin white paper, the reward system of Bitcoin is designed in such a way to discourage and you have your wallet. Very good. Now, if you go to zero authority profile, zero authority dot fast pool, fast as in fast and furious, fast pool, swimming pool, fastpool.org, POOL, yes, pool, OOL .org, ORG, yes. So there are many ways for you to fund your wallets. The wallet you created, if you want to fund the wallet with Start token, you can go on Bybit, do a P2P transaction, USDT for Naira, then search for STX and swap the STX, the USDT you got for Stacks, for the Stacks token, which is STX. When you do that, then you can go on you can come here, zeroauthority.fastpool.org, click on Start Stacking. When you click on that, you connect your wallet. You connect here or here, whichever one. So after connecting your wallet, your balance will be displayed here. Your balance will be displayed alongside your wallet address. So at the top here, but at the bottom here, you see this number, minimum of 40 STX. This 40 STX, if I'm not mistaken, should be less than $10 or so. 40 should be, okay, no, a little over $10. Let us say $12. A little over $12, and that's about 16,000 naira, or at most 17,000 naira. When you come here and connect your wallet, the next thing you do is to enter the amount you are stacking. You can stack above 40, you can stack anything but 40 and above. When you click on that to receive, you want to receive in STX or in SBTC, that's very fine. But let me HDMI, DJ, oh, I don't have DJ, but okay. So you just choose any of them. If you choose STX, which means the amount you are locking is you are going to be rewarded in STX, which is the native Stacks token. If you choose SBTC, which I told you is a one-to-one pegged token for Bitcoin on Stacks. So this is basically Bitcoin on Stacks. The same amount they sell the real BTC is the same amount you get for this SBTC. So when you select the one you want, if you're selecting this one, SBTC, that means all the reward you get will come in SBTC, which is still BTC. It's just like USDC. How many of you know of USDT or USDC? Very good. We have a good number here. So for those of you that have used USDT and USDC, you know it's $1 equals one USDT. It's the same thing with BTC. One SBTC is equal to one BTC. So when your reward either comes in SBTC or in STX, when you click that, then scroll down, then two buttons are supposed to appear here. One is going to ask you to allow fast pool, the other one will ask you to start fast pool. So if once you allow, you can now start. You click on start, and then the amount is going to be locked. Let me this one. I want to send a screenshot so you see what it looks like when you have started. So the image you are going to see on the screen now is a demonstration for you to understand. So this is what the screen is going to look like after your stacking is approved. Right here, up here, you see the amount you have stacked. Up here, then here you see the pool number for like your wallet address with a figure here that says just identity, just a kind of identity here for you. And then these ones are still here. Then you have very good. Hope it's clear for those of you on the back. So this is, like I said, that's what you see. You see all the, this is the amounts, the pool, your ID or your pool ID or something. And then the buttons are down here. You can update after you've done your stacking. You can update it later on to add more amounts to it. So that's it about that's it about stacking. And thank you guys for listening. For our Muslim brothers and sisters that are yet to go and pray, please, while we take a short break, you can go and pray and come back, then we'll round up and end for today. For those that have gone to pray, welcome back. All right, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for listening. And I hope to see you building on stacks and also stacking or mining. Be a miner or be a stacker. Whichever one you want, you can be anyone. But just don't be nothing and don't be indecisive. Thank you so much. Okay, I have questions. We have questions coming. Okay. All right, let's start with you, Mark.
Yeah. My question is about this page, although my teacher was not here all about it. Is this page where you can stake your stack?
Yes.
Okay. What's the minimum amount you can stake?
40 FTX token.
And how much does it cost to get one STX?
At the last time I checked this one, it was about 0.3 something dollars for one stack. So getting 40 stacks, 10 stacks will be like $3 or so. So getting 40 will be around $12, $15.
All right, thank you.
0.3? No, that's the amount to buy one stack. Yes. 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 So the SBTC is different from the STX token. SBTC is the one that is pegged to Bitcoin. One SBTC is equal to one Bitcoin. One STX is what you get for 0.3 something. What's the current figure? Anybody can check for us. Yeah, on Bybit, just check the current value for STX. Okay. Yes. So 0.3, 0.30. Okay. So one STX token is currently 0.3, and when you stack, let me explain another thing. When you stack, the STX token doesn't leave your wallet. It stays in your wallet, but it's locked. You cannot transfer it out. You cannot spend it until the cycle. If you are stacking it for 2 weeks, until after that 2 weeks, that's when you get it back. That's when you'll be able to transfer with your reward. Everything will come together. If you The only thing you're going to transfer out of your wallet is the gas fee. If you are stacking 120 STX, it stays in your, but you are not able to use it. Is that clear?
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
I still want to ask about SBTs.
Yeah.
So, is it the same amount that you stake to get the SBTs?
Go now. Sorry?
Is it the same amount of that 40 STX that you can stake to get the SBTs?
No, when you are stacking, you only stack STX. Yeah, if you want to send SBTC, if you want to send BTC, not SBTC, you are sending it, you are transferring it.
Like now, if I want to stake and earn SBTC, I want to stake STX.
Yeah.
And SBTC, how do I do that?
Where's the screen? Please. If you stake the STX, when you start it, there are options. There are two options there. You choose which one you want to receive as your reward. Yes. You can choose STX or SBTC.
Okay, but I can still use 40 STX to get
yes. Yes. But you choose only one. You don't get the two. Yeah. Yes. As long as you are starting. For about 8 months. So what's the value for this this 40 SDX, you get 0.060, if I'm not mistaken, 0.0060 SBTC per year. So it's spread, yes. 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 That's right. So you can increase that value by stacking more. Let's take the second question.
So he asked a lot of questions. So how much should I be getting on
I thought it's monthly. Then how do I send? I think we'll be sending from there on now. So how do we send to this wallet?
Okay. So, like I mentioned earlier, you go on Sandlip first, do a P2P transaction of USDT or USDC. You pay in Naira, you get the USDT or USDC, and then when you get that equivalent, you swap it for STX token on the same bit by bit. Then you transfer it to your wallet, your start wallet, either on XBAS or Ledger. You transfer it there, then you come to this website and do your stacking. No, it supports it it's Binance that supports it, not Bybit. Bybit doesn't, Binance does, but I have not done it on Binance, so I don't know the process. Yes. Yeah, ST to your wallet, XVAS or Ledger wallet. Yes. Yes. But, but then, if yes, one of you here can build a solution to do off ramping of Naira to STX directly. That's another idea. You can off ramp it. We will build it.
I want to know if there's anybody that has tried because there is the game now. The aim is to get Bitcoin. So you told us that STX is equal to SBTC.
No, SBTC is equal to BTC.
Okay, yeah, I'll come to that. So if I have one SBTC, I have one Bitcoin.
Yes.
So as everybody, we need 0.06. I'm checking how long because I think this method can be a way to save.
That's my start. The amount I start up there. This is this is the identity here. This is what I start. I was supposed to do a demonstration with the rest of the amounts, but because my start for 2 weeks or 1 week, depending on the amount you want. Whatever you think, whatever amount you want to start, you can select it. Sorry, whatever duration you can keep the duration. Yes.
So our question is you said the minimum stake for start for the STX
Yes.
is 40 STX, right?
That is on this platform. Yes.
So my question is that after staking like for 2 weeks, if you are going to withdraw that amount, is it going to like are you going to withdraw the exact amount and withdraw your profits?
Yes.
Without even if the market is fluctuating and it's dropped down, you're still going to withdraw that same amount of stack that you withdraw.
If you stack, let's say you go to Xmas and you stack 500 STX for 2 weeks. At the end of the 2 weeks, you are withdrawing your 500 STX plus the reward you got for it. If the market crashes, you are still withdrawing 500 STX, but the value may not be the same. It will be the value at the moment you are withdrawing. If the market goes up, you are withdrawing your 500 STX at a higher value.
And still get lost.
Yes, you can still. The loss you are getting is based on the market value. Yes.
At the end of my contract, I get what I put in the first.
Yes. Yes.
But if the market is down,
you can still withdraw or you continue starting. Yes, at the end of the contract. It must complete that duration you selected. Yes. That's how staking works.
Yes, please. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but from all you said, if I understand it clearly, I can earn by stacking, which is like to stick or to lock my STS. And I can also earn by holding, and then when the price goes up, and then I sell, something like that. So are there other ways of earning, or you just end up with by stacking? That's my simple question. What other ways can I earn STS? Or is it just stack?
Other ways you can earn STX by building an application.
I'm not a developer.
Okay. And since you are not a developer, basically yes, you can build an app people pay to use.
so for us developers already building the product on a chain.
Yeah.
So how do I migrate from a chain?
So you write the start smart contract and then link the smart contract after deploying it, link it to your front end.
So in business, there's this thing called the user value proposition. So what is there for us that is going to make us move from chains?
Okay, so start give grants to builders. Currently, they are running. This should be the grant, which is what's sponsoring this meetup. The grant funding, which is sponsoring this meetup, and at the end of this tenure or this term of the grants, there was going to be another one next year, which you can apply for if your solution is good enough to be funded. Not because not that it's not good, but if it meets the criteria they are looking for, you get funded. You get the funding, you build your projects, you deploy it. Is that clear? So it's as if you're getting paid to build and scale. And then there's aside from the grant, you can also get into the incubation program. Thank you. Any other question? You raise your hand. Please give me the mic. We have another question at the back. Yes. Okay.
If your stake was that, what's the
The period.
So what about stacks? What do you put up here? We can be done with it. That market can't be done with it. That's people is marketplace.
Okay, I'm not on stage before, so I really don't know. But I it's any other question? We have one at the back. Good afternoon.
There was something you said that I did not get here because anything concerning money. Yes. So, that we start there's some
Whatever time you want. Just that the amount, the minimum amount is higher. More than higher. All right, thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. And it's a pleasure to be with you guys. I'm telling you about the start ecosystem, its technicalities, and how you can learn from it. And even though I've told you about stacking, please do your own research before you put your money into it. So that you don't come and blame me and say I'm the one that told you to do it. Please do your research before you do it. Okay? Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you guys at the top.
Thank you very much, John, for that session. I believe for some of us that from the beginning of the session events, we didn't know much about Stack, but with this, we've been able to know and grab because I see people asking questions. I mean, is it because it's money? Okay, so we are almost rounding up, but before we do, please, I said from the start, we need like 5% that would love to be interviewed, right? Don't worry, you get the video. So if you love to be interviewed, can I see your hand so you follow the team? Oh, sorry, chill, they've picked their people. I think people have already, yes, they've already selected themselves, volunteer themselves. So before that, again, please, we have somebody that will just talk for most 5 minutes, right? There's an opportunity he wants to tell us about. If you're interested, do well to listen to him and then get to meet him after that. Please, can you come up? Sorry.
Um, Good afternoon, everyone. Um, so I'm happy to see your faces back again here. And my family, I'm also part of the Oasis.